The intercontinental ballistic missile.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 1.
But those things which God before had shewed by the mouth of all his
Why do we live in these conditions? Because these are not good conditions.
That's idolatry, because we are a rebellious people.
Right now. So you ever ask, like, why do we get persecuted? How can we get defined? But our people are so destroyed, they actually think that this is normal. This is not normal. You know, it's not normal to be out here with trash all over the place. You got bullet holes at the bus stop. You got people passed out, either drunk or on drugs. This is not normal. This is a bad condition. So why do we live like this? The brother's going to show you. Just give him a few minutes. Show him why we curse, so he can understand the importance of knowing who you are, and more importantly, what we can do to lift these curses, because that's what he's teaching.
What you gonna do in the kingdom?
I'm just trying to reach the masses. Turn to ashes. Flames of fire in the sky. Paint a mansion. And when the king returns, he swing a sword and slay the dragon.
Like Christ, we got to keep the commandments. You got to know the commandments.
Different precepts in the Bible to explain it is because the Bible is supposed to be read like that, precept upon precept. You can't read the Bible from front to back and understand everything. It is good to read front to back to get the history and the knowledge in it, but some understanding could be in the beginning of the book. Some could be in the back. Like say if you're at school, you're taking trigonometry. Are you going to go to chapter 32 when you start the book? Are you going to only read chapter 5? You're going to read the whole book, right? And sometimes in chapter 32, you might have to go back to chapter 5 to get the understanding, because you got to learn the basics first. You got to go back and forth to get the understanding of what you're reading.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 9.
Whom
shall he teach knowledge?
Okay.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
This is going to have knowledge of the Bible, who's going to understand what's coming out of these scriptures.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
The milk is talking about the basis of the Bible, meaning the laws. Them who are keeping the laws, that's who's going to be able to understand the Bible. Not these pastors who are lying to us, stealing our money in church. They don't have understanding of the Bible. All they want is our pockets. Keep going.
For precept must be upon precept.
So precept, meaning a verse, must be upon precept. You need a verse to explain another verse. The Bible's like a puzzle book, back and forth. Because Christ is spoken about in the Old Testament, right? He was prophesied in the Old Testament, so that's why we read about the New Testament. We knew that was already going to happen. Keep going.
Precept upon precept. Line upon line.
Line upon line.
Line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
So here a little, there a little. Now let's get to the curses to show you why we're in captivity. Get 28. First get 27 and 1 to show the audience that he's talking to the Israelites.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 to verse 1.
So this is when we came out of Egypt. Moses was speaking to us.
And Moses with the elders of Israel.
Moses with who?
With the elders of Israel.
So the Israelites, the sons of Jacob,
commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
That's the commandments that he got from the Most High God. And it wasn't just 10 commandments. It was over 600 laws that he got from the Most High. Because if you read from Exodus all the way through Leviticus, there's multiple laws that are talked about. Like, say, rape. Is rape in the 10 commandments? But it's a sin, right? Because there's other laws in the Bible that were not in the 10 commandments. And plus, all the laws hang on the 10 commandments. It's like, kind of like an umbrella. You ever seen like an umbrella system for a company? How they have one topic, but it breaks down into other subtopics? That's how the laws are. Go to 28 and 1 to show the blessings. If we did keep the commandments, this was going to be our blessing.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently.
So hearken means to listen. So if we did listen to the Most High God,
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
To observe and to do all his commandments, not just one or two. We have to observe all of them.
Which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So are we above all nations right now? Shalom, brothers. I'll be sad, but we're here teaching our people our history in the Bible. that we're the true children of God. One second, bro. What color do y'all think Jesus Christ is? Black? How do you know that? All right, so come over here real quick. So out of these two images, this is for you too, bro. Out of these two images, which one do you think represents Jesus Christ the most? From these two signs right here. The one on the right? So, but who do you see on TV and in the church? They show that man, right? So that means they be lying to us, right? Okay. Let's get Revelation to show you where in the Bible it talks about him being black. And why they have to lie to us and show that he's white. To keep us under captivity, to keep us subdued. Read that.
The book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 1.
Because, hold on, bro, think about it. If we were in slavery and we knew Jesus Christ was black, do you think we would just sat down and let that happen to us? But if we in slavery believed that Christ was a white man, and that's the same man enslaving us, we'd be like, oh, okay, it's supposed to happen. Jesus is white, they're over us, they're our rulers. That's how they got us into thinking we were subservient to them, when really it was the other way around. Keep reading.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation means to reveal. Shalom, bro.
Which God unto his servants which God gave unto him to show his servants which things must surely come to pass.
Okay, go to 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So Christ, Jesus Christ, his head and his hairs were white like wool. Is his hair like that? Is his hair white like wool? Which one of these hairs is white like wool? Him, right? Okay, white woolly hair. Who on this earth has white woolly hair? What nation of people? Black people, right? Black people have woolly hair, right? Okay, that's strike one. Because that's Caesar Borgia. He clearly doesn't have white woolly hair. Keep going.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. Is his hair white? No, his is the false image of Christ. It's not white, right? Okay.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes is the flame of fire. Are his eyes red or are they baby blue? But what about his eyes? So we're not saying that's exactly what Christ looked like. We're saying according to the scriptures, that's the best depiction of what he actually looked like. Let's keep going. Let's get the banger at the end.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So his feet like unto fine brass. What color is brass? What color is brass? Brass. B-R-A-S-S. Look at your zipper on your jacket. What color is that? It's kind of like brown, right? Gold is brown. Okay.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they burned in a furnace. So if you took your zipper, threw it in the fire for 10 hours, what color would it turn? If it's burned in the furnace? If you burn rice, what color does rice turn when you burn it? No, so you got white rice. Your mom's cooking white rice for you, cooking dinner. And it burns. It turns black, right? So read that again.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So if Christ's skin color was like this, burned in a furnace, meaning he was black, right? So that's in the Bible that shows you Christ was a black man. He wasn't no white man. He wasn't a so-called Edomite. I mean, a so-called white man. Let's get Revelation 13. Actually, let's get to the Song of Solomon. And then Job 30 and 30. So we're going to show you some other scriptures in the Bible where it describes the prophets being black. Because all the main prophets in the Bible, all the Israelites, were so-called either African Americans, Hispanics, or Native Americans. Those are who the Israelites are from. So all the Hispanics you see, like from Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, those are our brothers. We're the same people. Even though sometimes we might fight against each other, that's because we've been divided through slavery and through other doctrines, through gangs, through neighborhoods we live in. That's why we fight each other. Even though we're still family, that's why we got to come together. Read that.
The book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5.
So Solomon was King David's son.
I am black.
I am black.
But comely.
But comely, that means beautiful. You ever heard the saying black and beautiful? King Solomon said that right there. That's another scripture in the Bible that shows you our ancestors in the Bible were black. We were kings. We were ruling. We were always on bottom. Get Job 30 and 30.
The book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
Right there again. He said, my skin is black upon me. Get Genesis 2 and 7. That's the prophet Job. You heard about the story of Job before? Oh, well, he was a major prophet in the Bible, and he admitted that he was black. Now let's get the first man that got created. Let's see what color he was.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man.
So the Most High God formed man.
Of the dust of the ground.
Of the dust of the ground. Now look behind you. What color is the dust of the ground in that plot right there with the tree? It's brown, right? So have you ever seen so-called white dirt? White dirt or light dirt? Because dirt comes in different shades of brown, right? It can be as dark as me, or as light as this brother or that brother right there, right? So there's different shades of brown. Read that again. You read it again, then get that?
And God formed man of the dust of the ground.
So God formed man of the dust of the ground. So what color do you think the first man was? Was black. The first man was black. Okay, get what you got. What else you have? God. Yeah, get that. So what about the Most High God? You don't know what color he is? So Jesus is the son, right? So don't you think he would look like his father? You don't think so? All right, let's see.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
So Daniel right now, he's prophesying about the worldly kingdoms falling down when Christ come back and the Most High come back.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
The Ancient of Days. Who do you think the Ancient of Days is? Why do you think that? Ancient of Days, meaning he's old, right? So he's been around for a long, long, long time. Do you know how long he's been around? Forever. We don't know. We can't.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
So the Most High God sat.
Whose garment was white as snow.
So to wear a garment, what do you have to wear a garment, to wear clothing? What do you need? That's true, but what do you need to wear clothes? If somebody, can you wear cotton too? But what do you need? You have to have a what? A body, right? A lot of people say what? They say God is a puff of smoke and he's a spirit, right? But to wear clothes, he has to have a body, right? So clearly he has a physical form.
Whose garment was white as snow.
So his garment was white.
And his hair of his head like the pure wool.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool. Just like who else? His son, Jesus the Christ. That's showing that God is black too. You guys love Jesus? You go to church? Your mom take you to church? What do they teach you in church? About God? What about him? That he loves everybody? They teach you have to keep the laws? They do? Do they teach you that you have to keep the laws? What laws they teach you? So the Sabbath day? Y'all keep the Sabbath day? What day do you go to church? Saturday or Sunday? Sunday? Okay, get John 14:14.
The book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
So that was Christ talking. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So if you love Christ, you would do what? Keep the commandments, right? Okay. So both of y'all are brothers? So your mom your parents together, mom and dad? Just your mom? She takes you to church? Okay. Get Leviticus 23:3. So when you go home, I want you to show the scripture to her, okay? Just so that if you want to keep the Sabbath day, you have to keep it on the proper day, which is Saturday, which is today. And this is all in the Bible, scriptural.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 3.
6
days shall work be done.
So 6 days shall work be done. So what's the first day of the week? What is the Monday? Okay, let me show you. You ever seen a calendar before? On a calendar, what is the first day?
Sunday.
It's Sunday, right? Because Monday is the first start of the business week. But according, look right there. The first day of the week is Sunday. Okay, let's see. So first day of the week is Sunday. So 6 days work is supposed to be done. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Friday, 6 days, right? Okay, keep reading.
But the seventh day.
But the seventh day, which is what? Saturday.
Is the Sabbath of rest.
So Saturday is the Sabbath. That's when we're supposed to be resting, not Sunday. We learned that in slavery from our slave masters. That's how we learned to go to church on Sunday. Because that's the only day they'll give us off. Keep reading.
In holy convocation.
In holy convocation, we're supposed to be gathering with other like-minded Israelites who are keeping the law.
Ye shall do no work therein.
We're not supposed to work on the Sabbath.
It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
We're supposed to rest. Go to Deuteronomy 6 and 7. And your mother, hopefully she can teach you guys properly according to the Bible. Get 6 and 7, because that's a law for parents to do too. They're supposed to teach their children and bring them upright.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 7.
And she's probably trying to teach you from the best she knows. That's not her fault. That's been passed down to us through slavery and division. But now that we have an understanding of the scriptures, we need to start keeping the Bible the right way.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 7.
And
thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
The parents are supposed to teach their children diligently.
And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
When you're chilling in the crib.
And when thou walkest by the way.
When you walk into the store.
And when thou liest down.
And before you go to bed.
And when thou risest up.
And when you wake up. Your parents are always supposed to be teaching you these laws, statutes, and commandments. Let me ask you a question. What do you guys eat? What type of meat do you eat? Ground beef? Chicken? Turkey? What about shrimp or pork? Do you eat shrimp? What about pork? No pork? What about lobster? You eat lobster? Okay. Get Leviticus 11. So the dietary laws are also part of the laws we have to keep too. So even though it might seem minuscule and they don't keep it in the church, it's very important because this type of stuff is what God has put in slavery and God has killed. Also health-wise too. Do you know shrimps are basically water cockroaches, right? Yeah, shrimp are water cockroaches. They swim on the bottom of the ocean and they eat the poop off the floor from other animals. That's their purpose. They clean the poop off the floor in the ocean. So would you eat a cockroach that's walking across DC? You would eat a cockroach? No, you wouldn't. Come on. Leviticus 11, read that.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 10.
No, start at 7 to show them the pork. Right. So you said you don't. What about your mother? Did your mother eat pork? Okay. We'll still get that for edification. Who? What about bacon? So you eat bacon? Okay, let's get that. You know where bacon comes from? What type of bacon? Pork bacon, right? Okay. Okay, your brother just told the truth. Will you turkey bacon too? Is it always turkey or is it pork bacon too sometimes? Sometimes it's both? Okay, let's get that.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 7. And this.
Wait, first we got 11 and 46, and then come back to 7. So the whole chapter of Leviticus 11 shows what we're supposed to eat and what we're not supposed to eat according to the Most High God.
Verse 46. This is the law of the beast, of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and every creature that creepeth upon the earth.
So your land animals, your bugs, your birds, everything that swims. This chapter describes what we're supposed to eat and what we're not going to eat.
To make a difference.
To make a difference.
Between the unclean.
So unclean. Are we supposed to eat unclean animals? Okay.
And the clean.
Are we supposed to eat clean animals? Yes. Okay. Go to 7. Go to verse 7.
Verse 7. And the swine.
And the swine. What is a swine? What is a swine? Nah. A swine. It's an animal. It's pink. It rolls around in mud. It goes oink oink. It's a pig. A swine is another word for a pig. So the pig. Pig. They are pink. Some of them are pink. Some are black and white, but they're mainly pink. Like what? You ever seen Wilbur? You never seen Charlotte's Web? Wilbur, he was pink, right? All right.
And the swine, though he divided the hoof.
So the pig, though he divided the hoof. So for unclean and clean animals, the clean have to have the hoof, divided hoof. You know, they have like the cleft foot, and they have to chew the cud. I'm gonna explain that to you. So they have to have divided hoof. So and the pig, he divides the hoof, but what doesn't he have?
And be cloven-footed. Yet he cheweth not the cud.
The pig doesn't chew the cud. So chewing the cud goes into. Have you seen cows before, like on TV or Animal Planet? See how they always look like they're chewing gum, like this? They're chewing the cud. That's meaning when they eat food, they have several stomachs. So when they eat their food, they swallow it. One stomach digests it. They regurgitate it back up, eat it again, and swallow it again to get all the impurities and toxins out. So they detoxify their own food with their stomach and their saliva. They make it clean. They clean their food. That's what they're doing. And the pig doesn't do that.
He is unclean unto you.
So because he doesn't do that, he is unclean unto you. Because there's two categories clean animals need to have in terms of land animals. They have to chew the cud, meaning they have to digest their food, make it clean, and they have to be cloven-footed and have hoofs. So he is unclean to you. Keep reading.
Of their flesh shall you not eat.
Of their flesh, we're not supposed to eat that. No pork bacon, no pepperonis, no pork pepperonis, because there is beef and turkey alternatives, but no bacon, no pepperoni, no what else they do? No holiday ham, no sausage, no chitlins. We're not supposed to eat those. Yeah, we can't. No, we're not supposed to eat none of that. According to the Bible, if you love Jesus, right? So we can't eat those foods. Because not only are they unclean for us to eat according to him, they have bad health benefits too. Why do you think a lot of our family members in the black community, they have hypertension, high blood pressure, the gout? We get these diseases from our diet. We're not eating right as a people as a whole. Keep going.
And their carcass shall ye not touch.
Meaning touch to eat.
they are unclean unto you.
Okay, go to the sea animals. Yeah, go to 10. So now we'll see about your sea cockroaches, your shrimp, your scampi, your lobsters. Because if you ever been to a fish market with your mom, you see the shrimp tail and it's black at the end, right? What do you think that black part is? Nah, that's poop. That's poop in his tail. That's what it is. I told you they clean the ocean floor. That's all they do.
Verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas.
So if they don't have fins, you know what a fin is? What's a fin? What do they use it for? It's on the back to swim, right? Okay. So if you're eating a sea animal, they have to have fins and what else?
And scales.
And scales. You know what scales are? Scales. What is it?
Like a snake that's... Oh.
We'll talk to Mike. Okay. We'll talk to Mike. Scales. Don't be scared. We'll talk. Go ahead. What are scales?
Scales are like the snake. It got scales on their back, like the scale.
And what else?
It's dry.
What about like salmon and tilapia? Do they have scales?
Yes.
They have scales too, right? So that's their skin. So sea animals have to have fins and scales for them to be clean, for us to eat them. So what about shrimp? Do shrimp have fins and scales?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Shrimp have fins and scales? No, they don't. Do lobsters? Scales. They have scales. That's a shell. That's not a scale. Do they have fins? Do lobsters have fins and scales? No. What about oysters? What about catfish? Good, because catfish are unclean. They do have fins, but they don't have scales. They have a slimy skin. If you've ever seen them, they have slimy skin. They don't have scales. What about sharks?
No.
Sharks are clean. We can eat them. They have fins. Do they have scales? But do they have scales? Exactly. So they have to match both categories. They have to have fins and scales for them to be clean. What about octopus and squid? Can we eat those? Do they have fins? Do they have scales? No, so they don't got both. They don't get any of the categories.
All that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and of all that movement in waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
So they're an abomination. We're not supposed to eat those. Those are grievous things against the Most High. We're not supposed to eat shrimp, scampi, none of that. Oysters, that food isn't for us. So what about birds? You know certain birds we could eat?
No.
Slum says, good morning.
Hens.
We could eat hens, okay. What else?
Turkey.
We could eat turkeys. What else? We could eat eggs.
Eggs, slaves, and daughters of Babylon.
So what birds can't we eat then? What birds?
Because
A what?
white.
What's that?
The all-seeing eyes of the Illuminati. Slave trade is based on a doctrine.
What are you talking? Get Deuteronomy 28. So you're saying that's not true? You're saying we didn't go into slavery? I don't get what you're saying. We did go into slavery, right?
Yes.
On ships. Do you know why we went into slavery on ships?
Because slaves is what Gemini Shaven, it means the homicide.
Deuteronomy 20:15. I'm going to show you why we went into slavery ships. This is why we went into slavery on slave ships. Hey, y'all get a flyer? Hey, hold up, bro. Get a flyer. I'm going to show you in the Bible why we went into slavery, okay? Get 28:15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Puerto Rican.
But it shall come to pass.
So this is going to happen to us. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but those are our people.
From Puerto Rican.
Puerto. That's where you're from?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know those are our people too, right? The only difference is what? Where we got dropped off at.
Yeah.
We got dropped in America. They got dropped in the Caribbean. We all went through the slave cycle. Actually, they went into slavery first, the so-called Hispanics, in 1492 with Christopher Columbus. Read that. And this is why.
But it shall come to pass.
This is the prophecy that Moses is speaking to us through the Most High.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Hearken means to listen. So if we didn't listen to the Most High God, what do you think we didn't listen to? What he told us to do? So we didn't listen to the laws. The laws that he gave us, we didn't keep them. That's why we went to slavery. Keep reading.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So we were supposed to observe, do, and keep all the commandments that we were given.
So these
are the tribes. Yep, these are the tribes, and these who we are today. Yeah, Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans. Because these are our true names right here. And how do we lose our true names? No, because we didn't keep the commandments. Keep reading.
That's how you say Puerto Rican.
Listen, sis.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Deuteronomy 28 is going to show all the curses. We're called African American. Instead of be called Benjamin, we're called West Indians. Listen, sis. So African American, when did that term come around? Sis, listen. When did this term come around? African American.
Because
what year?
My hair is not
African sold into slavery, sis. When did African American come around?
Me and my education.
Okay, sis. Hey, shalom, bro. How you doing?
I was alive.
Happy Sabbath. You know what we teaching? Come on here for me.
Anything to do with my power and the overall.
So you know what we teaching today?
How would you know the fuck
So
I was?
we teaching our people that we came from the lineage of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, and we gospel the people according to the Bible. Have you heard that before?
You see all these white bitches here?
Okay. Who do you? What image between these two? Who do you think is Jesus Christ? Out of these two images right here.
All the bitches, you understand? You thought I was your sister. No.
That one, right? That's what you think is Jesus Christ? Why?
I'm your big brother, Dean. Little engine.
Because he got the crown of thorns, right?
White bitches.
So you think Jesus Christ was a white man?
I'm from
Get that in Revelation. That's what a lot of our people think. Because what? That's all we've seen, right? In TVs and movies. We're told Jesus Christ is a white man with blonde hair, correct? So let's see what the Bible says he actually is.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs.
Start at 101. To show that's talking about Jesus Christ.
Verse 1.
So this is the last book of the Bible.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
Revelation just means to reveal. So the revealing of Jesus Christ. Go to verse 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it said Jesus' hairs were white like wool. Between these two, who has white woolly hair? Between this image and that image right there. Which one has white woolly hair? Okay, so that's strike one. And this the Bible describing what Christ looked like. Keep going.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. And what nation of people have woolly hair? What ethnicity? Yeah, so like white, black, Spanish. Who has woolly hair? Nah, white people have hair like you? Black people, right? Because you don't see white people with hair like that. Or like that behind you. We're the only ones with that type of texture of hair, right? Like lamb's wool. That's why I said white woolly hair like lamb's wool.
As white as snow.
As white as snow.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes like a flame of fire because he drank wine. He wasn't a drunk, but Christ drank wine. You know when you drink, your eyes turn red. So who has eyes red like wine? Who has eyes like a flame of fire? That one right there, right? So that's strike two against this false image of Christ, which came from a real man, Caesar Borgia. Keep going.
And his feet like a defined brass.
Now his feet like a defined brass. So the top of your foot will be the same color as the rest of your body, correct? So fine brass, what color do you think fine brass looks like? Brown, right? So keep reading. So brown.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they burned in a furnace. So if you take anything, if you take white rice and burn it in a furnace, what color does it turn in? Turning black. So if you take fine brass and burn it, that's going to be super black, right? So Christ was a dark-skinned man. He was very dark-skinned according to the scriptures. So now, why are they showing this image right here? It's Job, get Revelation 13 and 15.
Book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
So this is talking about the image of the beast. Now who is the he? What man has power? Who rules the earth? What nation of people rule the earth?
Damn!
What race of people rule the earth? Who's in charge? No, we don't rule the earth. We're in the bottom, bro. Who rules the earth? Who is the wealthiest of the earth? Who has the most cars, the best living facilities, the best schools? Who rules the earth? What type of person? What race person is in the White House right now? What race? He's white, right? The white people rule the earth. Wherever they go, they dominate wherever they go. Whether it's South America, whether it's India, whether it's Africa, whether it's Asia, white people run wherever they go. Like the military. The American government is one of the only government who has military bases throughout the country, even in its enemy's territory. How do you do that? You got to run the earth to be able to do that. They have that type of power. And they have the power also to show this false image of Jesus Christ and make us believe that's what Christ looked like. Even the Bible says completely otherwise.
And power to give license to the image of the beast. That the image of the beast should go speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast.
So how does this image of the beast speak? How does that false image of Christ, how does that talk to our people?
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us, subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.